Well, hello, my darlings. I'm Faith from Faith and Grits, and back to share a quick, well, won't be quick for me, but quick little make with you. I was so itching to have another go with the clay to do another book cover after doing the UFO, and the texture. Oh my God, it's hard to describe. It's so lovely, and it's very light. It's not heavy at all. So I've done another little pink book with a lace spine using that scroll work and air dry clay, and no, really pleased. This one dried better, it cured better, it glued better than my first attempt. So, but I've done it using really simple one, using Rach's perfectly pink background kit papers. So I will leave a link for them below. This video is a bit stop-start and bitty in places because I got ahead of myself playing and didn't film, and then I was jumping back on and off because there was so much drying time that was needed. So I hope the video does make sense, and I hope you stick around with me and perhaps be inspired. Please go check out Rachel's papers as well. They're absolutely beautiful. So for you, it'll only be a tick. Right, my darlings, I've just put the camera on and try to do a catch-up because I've gone on a bit of a tangent here. I've gotten Rachel's perfectly pink backgrounds. So the perfectly pink backgrounds are the most beautiful dusky rose that I think I've seen in a long time. So I've done 10 pages back to back, or 20 pages back to back, which gives me 10 pages. I've rounded all the corners, and I've folded the excess either in or out on the pages to be little tucks. So inked and ready to go. I had a whole bunch of these in my stash that I was destashing books from. So the covers are that color, and you've got the foil. I'm not worried about the spine, but you've got that sort of embossed or debossed lettering on them as well. So for this one, I wanted to play. I've added some modeling paste for where that debossed writing is, and it looks like so far so good. This has been a bit tedious to paint as the cover from the book. I've managed to get a nice, lovely, that dusky rose color to match the papers. So when I started, you had this, like, I had permanent rose and white, and that gives you quite a cold pink. But to get my color here, I added a bit of the permanent rose, lots of white to get my cold pink, and then to make the pink warmer, more dusky, I added buff titanium, and it's worked a treat. I've come up with this lovely hue. Now this has got to have another coat. That's the color when it's wet, but it's a very warm, dusky. But I'm starting to think I want another pot now to see if I can get that even darker, dusky pink. But we'll see. I started using my cheap paintbrushes, and I'm really not happy right now because I can still see paint bristles that have come off those cheap paintbrushes. So I'm going to give this another really nice thick coat to try to cover them up because they're embedded in the paint now, and I'm either going to have to ignore them or try to get them out. We'll see. So I've done the inside. We'll worry about that after. Now, while I was waiting on all those to print, I had another little play with the clay, like I did for the UFO. So I've done sort of more like a leaf border, but then on those corners, I've done that score and slip with roses for this one, and dotted a few more around. And with the breakage from the shrinkage that I had before, what I did is I cut a piece of cardstock to be the same size as my cover. And I covered that piece of cardstock with cling film. But what that means is that it hasn't split. It's actually shrunk and stayed. All my scored, slip and score bits have stayed intact as it dried. It's just shrunk a little bit. So I'm really happy with that. Really, really pleased with that. So I've done a quick little template for the spine to go in it. And that can go away. And I've dug out loads and loads and loads and loads of trim. All different. So I've got 20 pieces. The paint can go away. This is for afters. So that can go here. There are 20 completely different pieces here that I've rooted out of my stash. And the plan now, before I jump back on, is I'm going to take each one of these flaps. Some have flaps on the outside, some have flaps on the inside, and I'm going to add one bit of trim. I don't want the journal to be too thick. I'm going to add one bit to each flap and sew them together. But I can't film where my sewing machine is. So that's the plan. I'm going to take all these bits and bobs and get them sewn on in some way, shape, or form. I only want a single layer because I don't want too much bulk on those side pockets. So that's the plan so far. And right, off I go to do some sewing. So for you, it'll only be just a tick. Right, my darlings, all the sewing is done. I've printed this off from the background kit, from the Perfectly Pink. That's going to go on my inside covers. So that needs to get cut down to size. All the lace and trims are now sewn onto these. And the pockets are down and ready to rock and roll. So I've got 5 in one and 5 in the other, so I'll have 2 signatures. It does create a bit of a bulk with that lace, but I think we'll be okay. So these can go out of the way somewhere. Stretch. I also got, while I was sewing, I cut a piece of, I don't know what this is. It's like the soft, fleecy, like pillowcases you can get in the wintertime. It's a really pale pink. So I stuck a piece of lace on either side. So that could be the inner spine. So my spine pieces are there. My clay pieces are there. So let's get this thing put together. Now this did have to have a really good thick layer of paint. I can still see a paintbrush bristle in there. I'm hoping I can cover that up. But let's just go for it. It's just a quick bake, isn't it? So I definitely want this with a pencil. So no measuring. I'm just going to go in and with the pencil, that's going on that side. And that's going on that side. Quick little score. It's not score. A quick little cut mark on my pencil. And get the chopper out. And get these down cut to size. So now, With my UFO post that's gone up, I had some lovely comments on the cover. Ronnie over on our Facebook group said, look, we need a tutorial on this now. And I'm like, I've only just had a go. So, yes, definitely a tutorial. But I think I need to play with a few more quick little projects like this to think, how am I explaining it properly, you know? Because, yeah, it's been really good fun and fairly straightforward to work with. I don't want a 10 to a 7. I don't want the corners to be too round. Or maybe so, 10. And so, yeah, it's just, again, I'm a complete newbie myself, so I'm still trying to work it out. But I'm picking the air dry clay. It's not expensive. There is a little bit of a learning curve to it because it's quite sticky when it's out of the package. I've only had sort of token plays with clay before. And I know then, you know, if it gets too dry, you know, it's not really usable anymore once it gets too dry. So you do have to work a little bit quickly with it. But no, I'm intrigued about what else I can do with it. I've got a few more ideas for experimenting on getting some reliefs. I've got a few objects around the room that I want to do some testing on to push the clay into to get different types of reliefs. So, no, before I glue that down, right, closure. Once I put that clay on there, I don't have room to put an eyelet for closure. So what I'm going to do is, I ummed and awed. I've got pink lace. I've got that pink ribbon, but I've also got this sort of, I can't even describe this color really. It's like a deep, is it mauve? Is that the right name? I can't remember. But if you look in Rach's papers, that sort of deeper, darker, dusky rose color, like on that, for example, that is that sort of deeper color. So I'm going to go for this. So to get that down, I need it under here. And I will sew the ends. Not that much. Yeah, I think. Is that much going to be enough to tie a bow? A little bit more. I can always trim it off. About so. And trim, and then another length. And I'll sort out the ends of it towards the end. Now this I had from, what's it called again? Southern Green. The only shop I've ever encountered from them is the one that's in Cardiff. But I had good news recently. They are opening a new one in Swansea, which is closer to me. So I'm quite pleased about that. I've had some lovely craft supplies from there. So I want this upside down, don't I? Yes. So that it's on the outside when the book is closed. So roughly find my center here. So I am about 7 inches. So my center is about there, 3.5. And again, not measuring, just with my pencil, giving myself a guideline to glue that ribbon down. So here we go. because this is all going to be behind the backing paper anyway. But it will need extra gluing all the way up to that end, because you want it to be quite secure. Get that down. Oh, that's soaking through quite well, isn't it? At least I can tell where it's been glued. So that one's that one. That's the front. Not that it matters, because I painted it all the same color. And get this upside down. Come on, Art, wake up. Wake up. My art is running low. I gotta order some more. Put a little bit extra there. And down we go. There. Oh, it's oozed out. No! Oh, come on. Wasn't expecting that. There's always one little hiccup, isn't it? Tiny bit over here is oozed out. That's okay. Because the whole thing's going to get, the whole front cover is going to get another lot of paint once the clay gets glued on. So, right. That's done. Lovely. Pin in the glue face. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to get these stuck on. So those have got to be stuck on. I won't suffer you through sitting watching that. Those need to get stuck on. And these need to go through, my binding holes need to be punched through this, and that bound on here. So once this is bound and the backing papers are on, I'll pop back on and fill you in. Yes, sounds like a plan. I'm rambling now. Give me a tick. So, right, my darlings, I've gotten the signatures in onto that piece of inner spine through the cardboard in the back. So they're ready to go. So, but before this can be attached to here, we need to get the cover on. So, because the reason why I say that is because I want this to lay completely flat in order to work on the outer part of the spine. But this will go in last. So pop this out of the way. This is dried, okay, the closure. So get this off to the side. I'm still getting these weird little marks, but never mind. We're going to fix that. So, yes, I flipped it upside down now. So that one goes on that side. And this one is going to go on that side. And then I need to work out the spine. So, here we go. And it's a little fuzzy on a couple of the edges. But what I have, this one has cracked a little bit. That's probably from me picking it up and checking it and checking it and checking it instead of leaving it alone. And my cover is bowed slightly with the layers of paint. But let's just go for it. So, hopefully, if it does come apart, it's, yes, I can see the crack there. The little hairline crack there. See if we can get it down. And I am just using art for this. I used Call All for the one before, but I'm going to try art on this one and see how it binds. all the way down. But if you can get the piece using that score and slip technique, if you can get it down to dry on that cling film while it shrinks, you should have clean splits like I've just had there, that you can work with. Am I scented? I think so. Give this a little push, at least for Art to do his thing. Please. Pretty please. The sugar on top. Oh, me. So my second go doing this. So cross your fingers. Oh. Right, I think I'm going to have to sit here for a few minutes and hold it in place for Art to tack. But that's okay. And then what I'll do is I'll glue the next one on. And after that, it's painting. And I'm going to cover the whole thing in that same pink that I've mixed up in this salsa jar that I did the cover in. So it all gets a base coat of that. And that takes a bit of time. I won't video it because it is quite literally going into all that detail with a paintbrush from all angles. Because I don't want, in this case, I don't want the white to pop through. I'm still on the fence about a metallic to gild it with, but we'll just make the decision when the time comes, I think. There. No, it's tacked now. So I'm going to glue that one on and paint it and jump back on and touch base with you. So, give me a tick. Back darlings. This had quite a few layers of paint on it now because I had to go back then to get into the scroll work to cover up the clay. But it's all dry now, so I'm really pleased with how those roses, because those roses are a lot more 3D when they come out of the mold, but of course I had to give them a little bit of a push down to adhere to the scroll work. So no, I'm really pleased with that. So I did ask in the Rach and Bella's Facebook group on the design team what color metallic to go for, and pretty much everybody said gold, because gold is going to give you the warmth that you want with this dusky pink color, whereas silver is a much more colder color, and I don't have a rose gold in this wax. So I've cut up myself a little bit of a makeup sponge, and let's have a go. I don't want it to be messy. I want it to just try to stick to the clay work. So I'm going to try using tools because I normally apply this stuff with my finger. So let's have a go. So you don't need much. Just a really subtle sort of highlight. See how this actually performs. If it'll pick it up. So hopefully I won't make it too grungy. So it's actually putting it on much thinner than using my finger for sure. And makeup sponges are cheap enough to just sort of throw away. Because these things come with a built-in sponge in the lid. But I'm thinking, as fast as this stuff dries, I'm never going to get in there quick enough to clean the sponge. So I want to go on the edge of that scroll work. And that rows there without getting it onto the cover itself. So I also got out my little silicone tools. I'm wondering if this will pick it up. Yeah. So no, I'm going to have to play with this a bit. So I won't stick on camera for the whole of the waxing. I just wanted to show the method of how I'm applying it, you know? Oh, I did miss there. And once it's on, it's on. It does wipe off, but you got to catch it really quickly. So, thoughts, my darling, on the gold. Let's see if I can get this to focus. It is quite subtle. So I'm going to keep working and experimenting with some different tools and sponges and see if I can get it as neat as possible going all the way around. And then I'll pop back on and we'll sort out the rest. So, wish me luck, darlings, and I'll be back with you in just a tick. Right, darlings, the wax is set. I haven't made too much of a mess of it, I don't think. I mean, there are some little speckles here and there that didn't... But no, I'm really quite pleased with that. I'm not sure how well this light is showing it, but it looks very shiny on my screen here, but it's actually quite subtle. And I think more so once we get the spine covered. So, thoughts, my darlings? This one is less wonky for my second attempt. But no, really pleased. And I managed not to get any on the ribbon. Happy days. All over me, of course, but I kept it off the ribbon. So I've sat here and ummed and awed over my laces and things and couldn't make a decision. But I think I've got an idea. So I've cut a piece of cotton, the same sort of dimension that I want, so that I'm covering up the end of the scroll work. And I found this, and it's got those same sort of tones as the kit. This was found in treasure hunting. So I think I'm going to put a piece of that. Is that going to be too far over? I might have to trim that down a little bit. Alright, let's pull this out. Because I thought a piece on that side and run a piece of that in the center. Come on, I'll just pull it all out. I can't pull it out. It's caught on the staple. There. So, if I put a piece of this down the center, that's not going to be big enough. I need something else under that. That won't work because it's like this wide. How big is this one? Now see, I'm still umming and ahhing about it. That's not too bad, or do I want white in there? Right. I know I'm using this, so let's cut it off. So I know I want that on each side. And I want some of that trim running down the center. So if I am going the full 3 inches, I don't really need to. I need something else in the middle. One. Oh, come on. Or do I want white? Oh, I don't know. I sit here and I and I awe and and awe. No, I need something else to go in that center. This is... Why is this folded weirdly? Oh, this is from... Okay. Is that even the right... pardon me, the right width? Oh. Right, I'm going to pause you again and go and ah through my lace selection. I'll be back in a tick. Right, my darlings, after much oohing and awing, back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, I ended up going with the same layout of ribbon on that piece of pink cotton. It was a little bit fussy to stitch together, but I'm really pleased with how it's come out. I think it's going to be gorgeous. So as you can see on the back, I just did a running stitch to get that upholstery trim down and that center bit of lace, and then I've used sort of this, I call it the heartbeat zigzag. It reminds me of like the heartbeat thing you get in hospital. So I've done that over that center bit, so it's got a little bit of play in it. So, moment of truth. Yes. My line in the center there that I've marked with a pencil. So, that is going to get glued down tonight. And the signature will get glued inside. And I've got chaos around me because I've unraveled a whole bunch of lace. I've got a treasure hunt behind me that I haven't put away yet. I've got paintbrushes out with water. I've had paint. I've had gilding wax. So I'm going to glue this up and let it set. And for you, it will only be just a tick. Right, my darlings, back, and we're all bound and set. So it's ready for filling now. I am well chuffed with how this cover has come out. It is beautiful. Little bit. The only thing I haven't done for this paint is I think I will likely go back and rub clear door lens wax onto it just to give it a bit of a protection from like smudges and things like that. But I'm really pleased. I could not find any jewelry to go on the ends of these, but I have just added a couple of bracelet clamps so that something very perfectly pink can be added later on. So, and the spine, isn't that beautiful? I love the way the spine has come out. Absolutely love the way that that upholstery trim and all of this ties together with the papers of the book. So again, this is Rach's Perfectly Pink background pages. And if you like that sort of shabby chic style, this kit of backgrounds is for you for sure. So this is going to be a book for me. So I am going to be filling it slowly. So am I upside down? Yes. No, I'm not upside down. This way. So you got that lovely, this is all Rach's papers, and I've got just the side tucks, and that's all I've done in the book. So it's ready to start receiving things. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but it's bound and it's ready to go. So we have 40 pages of these beautiful, beautiful, soft, dusky, pink backgrounds to play with. So I'm well chuffed with that. And that I was itching to have a go at that scroll work. I'm really pleased with how this scroll work has come out. So to see how this one evolves now over time, we will see as the year goes on, and perhaps I'll bring it back out a few times to work in it. So this is going up on my shelf above me for inspiration. So if you stuck with me so far with such a bitty video, thank you ever so much, and thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. But from me, Faith, from Faith and Grits, I hope to see you back again here soon. So, bye for now.